What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, happy Super Bowl Sunday to you guys. May your favorite team win. Go Birds, you know what I'm saying? But listen, I'm going to talk about a story that happened early Friday morning in Richland, Mississippi. Shout out Richland, Mississippi. Hell, shout out Mississippi, period. Went to college there. It was a good place. Anyway, check it out. I want to talk about broken men. We'll say it like that. And the women that love them. Or people that suffer in silence in toxic relationships that usually have a note of domestic violence. Early Friday morning, around 2 o'clock, there was a phone call made by this man right here. Danquarius Bias, age 23, with a report of someone being shot in his apartment. This girl right here, Autumn Shanks, age 21, his girlfriend, who police arrived on the scene, locked up Mr. Bias's goofy behind, and found her shot in the head, dead in the bedroom. Now I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and we're gonna come back and talk about it. I'm gonna show you what the father of the victim, Miss Shanks, said, and we'll come back and I'll give you my commentary. Take a look.
Begin with breaking news out of Ridgeland, where a woman is dead after being shot in the head at an apartment complex.
That shooting happened at Pinebrook Apartments on Pine Knoll Drive just before 2 this morning. Ridgeland Police Chief Brian Myers says when officers got there, they made contact with 23-year-old Danquarius Bias. Officers found 21-year-old Autumn Bouquet dead inside the bedroom of an apartment. Bias is charged with first-degree murder. He's being held with no bond at the Madison County Detention Center.
I was able to speak with the victim's father, who told me his daughter was a vibrant person, loved by everyone, and just taken too soon.
She meant everything to us. She meant everything to me. Didn't know how much she meant to me until this day.
A father living a nightmare after receiving a call his daughter, 21-year-old Autumn Shanks, was shot and killed in her apartment early Friday morning.
I thought I was in trouble. I didn't know what the call was about at 4 o'clock in the morning. So he told me to sit down, and I sat, and he went on to tell me that my daughter was dead. And I was stunned. I was shocked. I was hurt. I'm still hurting.
Ridgeland police say they received a call just before 2 a.m. about someone being shot in the head at the Pinebrook apartment complex. When officers arrived on scene, they were met by Danquarius Bias. After searching the apartment, police found 21-year-old Shanks dead in the bedroom. Police say she had been shot. Orlando Shanks says his daughter was in a toxic relationship with Bias, but had no idea things were this bad until it was too late.
I saw my daughter last. We had a talk Tuesday. That was my last time with her. And if I had any notion that this was going on, I would have snatched her away. I would not have allowed her to go back into that situation.
Bias has been charged with first-degree murder and is being held with no bond at the Madison County Detention Center. Ridgeland Police Chief Brian Myers released a statement about the incident, saying, "Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and loved ones of Miss Shanks. Law enforcement feels the weight of such a tragic loss, and we mourn alongside this family." With this loss, Shanks' advice to others who may be in this situation is to take action before things get out of hand.
Be attentive. Do your part, and just whatever you got to do, take them out of a bad situation, because it won't end good.
Now, Bias also has a court date scheduled for March 11th. I'm live in Ridgeland. Crystal Tisme, 16 WAPT News.
Guys, that's the story of what happened to Miss Autumn Bouquet Shanks, dead at age 22, murdered in cold blood, in the place with her boyfriend. I'm gonna be honest with you. I talk to you guys a lot, and I say, you know, when people get killed, a part of other people died that, were connected to this victim or these victims in one way or another. So you don't just kill one person, you kill part of somebody else. Did you look at the father's face? Did you see that empty feeling he had? That empty look he had? That's horrific. I don't know if that's his only daughter, but I do know that was an integral part of his being and his sense of going on in life and accomplishment as a man, for she is part of his legacy. Other people don't see that. This guy's 23 damn years old. 23 years old. And he has to do something like this from somebody that's supposed to be his girlfriend or he loves. This is the same thing we see over and over and over again. And this is going to increase, especially with the absence of fathers and the way people perceive being a man and being respected as a man is nowadays when he wasn't raised by one. Excuse me. To be men, you have to see men. And a lot of times what these people see, this type of dude right here, this broken male, is what they see on TV and what they think a male should be. Gangster, hardcore, so on and so forth. A lot of people out here live their lives like fictitious characters that they pick and choose points from that they want to be. And they roll with it. And it ends them in places like jail sometimes, or in the graveyard. This girl right here mattered. Just like all the other victims I do in videos matter. She's 21 years old. Look how frail she is. She's very feminine looking. She looks like a young woman. This guy's over 6 foot, I think. What you doing beating her to make her submit when her being with your goofy ass is submission from the jump? That's the thing. I always had certain codes and laws I live by in my head as a man. And trust me, I done had some crazy chicks in my life that I've come across. We all have had partners that are not right for us. But never in my life did I say, hey, I'm going to beat this girl to make her see things the way I see them or make her do right. If you got to spank or physically touch a person, that's not your girlfriend. That's a child. To discipline them, who do you think you are? Cynthia, who do you think you are? It's crazy stuff out here. And like this stuff is increasing. It's like nothing to put your hands on somebody, whether it's a male or female, because you feel as though they disrespected you when you can just leave them alone from the jump. And I want to jump to something else. You seen the father? Did you hear that one thing he said? That one thing he said was pivotal. If I knew, he said he knew they was in a toxic relationship. I think they was arguing a lot and didn't really get along, had a lot of verbal sparrings. He said, if I knew it was like that, I would have went and I would have snatched her out of that. So that's the thing. A lot of people are like, hey, well, why don't you say something, this and that? And like, I'm learning this from people that have been in domestically abusive relationships where they're like, you don't say something because it's a sense of shame sometimes. Nobody wants to go and tell their parents that they're being beat on or somebody beat them up. Nobody wants to tell anybody that. So a lot of times people suffer in silence because they feel as though they know the person better than other people. And it's still a light at the end of the tunnel. And if they can get to that light, they can change this person. I don't know the situation between Miss Shanks and Mr. Bias, but I do know there are certain patterns that this type of thing follows. She was more mature than he was. And you ever notice this? These abusers do some of the most craziest stuff. And then once they do it and they pull that trigger or they swing those hands and that person don't move no more, what's the first thing they do? Is somebody shot? My girlfriend. And you get there, boom. First degree murder. No bond for him. He'd have no breath if it was up to me. Once they determined that was him, I'd have the father and I'd have all them family members come over. Yeah, this is the guy that killed your daughter. I'd let them see him. You know what I'm saying? And then I'd take him somewhere and he'd never be seen again. never be seen again. There are a lot of people out here that wear masks. We talk about it, but they can't wear them for long because the character that they play goes far against the grain of who they really are. And that mask get heavy and they gotta take it off. And what's underneath, a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, is very ugly. And when you want to flee from that, by that time it's too late. It's too late. 21 years old, she's gone. Had family that loved her, had a father in her life. She's still gone. How do you think that man feels? How do you think the father feels knowing his daughter that he raised and was a part of her life for 21 years? Seen her take her first steps, heard her say, "Daddy, I love you." Had dreams of her having children of her own, being married, and doing the good things in life that he couldn't do. Because as parents, we try to teach our children to avoid the pitfalls that we went through in life, to make them better people out in public and in life, period. That's what parents do. How do you think the father feels that he couldn't protect his daughter? You see that empty look? It's more to that look. My prayers and condolences go out to this family. And the family of this guy right here too. Because for all we know, he could have good upbringing, but you never know what type of adult you're raising until they go out in the street and start writing their own blueprint and you see it for yourself. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I notice now on these news articles that deal with domestic violence and disputes, they turn the comments off. You know what I'm saying? So, you know I'm leaving the comments on. Hopefully they won't turn mine off. But I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Prayers and condolences to the family of the victim.